Hello everyone, welcome to the Elder Scrolls Online.
House Mornard needs adventurers. Who's
Okay,
got the sand for the job?
me. How is everyone today? Hope you're good and well. We are in Galen. After we complete the High Isle, now we have access to the second area, Galen and Iffelan. We have some missions around here and a lot of things to find. That's a small map. And as I said in the last episode, now that I have the ESO Plus, I have access to this area and we can move on with the story. And we have Dulev. Dulev over here. We have some players around. Okay, let's just start this.
You look like someone who knows trouble. Adventurer by trade, am I right? I'm Dulef of the Mages Guild. Spellslinger for hire, and court mage to Count Mornard of Galen. At least for now. We could use your help, and we've got the gold to pay for it.
What kind of help are you looking for?
The usual. Well, more than that. Galen's beset by sea elf pirates. But these aren't the usual isolated raids. House Mornard's defending the isle as best they can, but their knights are stretched thin, and the druids are too distracted to lend a hand.
What's distracting the druids?
Some quarrel among the circles. Never seen the druids so at odds before. But if you're willing to help, go talk to the Count's son, Sir Stefan. He's just outside Vastir, leading the effort to drive off the sea elves. What do you say, sailor?
I'll speak to Sir Stefan Mornard about driving off the sea elves.
Sir Stefan is outside Vastir with Lord Baccaro, the leader of the Society of the Steadfast. Which reminds me, I've got the healing herbs he asked for. Give these to Lord Baccaro, mate. Now I'm off. Got sea elf raiders near Windrak Fort to deal with.
Okay, tell me more about these sea elves.
The sea elves? Haven't spent much time in these waters, eh? The technical term is Maormer, but nobody actually calls them that. They're bloodthirsty raiders from the great isle of Piandania. We usually see a ship or two, but this bunch have a fleet.
A pirate fleet?
A huge one. Call themselves the Dreadsails. They're a vicious band of pirates that have been causing trouble in the archipelago for some time, but no one realized how large their fleet was. Now they seem more intent on conquest than pillaging.
Okay, who leads these pirates?
That would be Sea Lord Nalos. He recruits sea elf captains and offers them a place in the Dreadsails fleet. If I didn't know better, I'd say he was trying to create his own sea elf kingdom far from Piandania. Could explain our current problems.
What was that about druid quarrels?
The druids of the Sisters Archipelago are divided into 3 circles. The Stone Lore, the Elder Tide, and the Fire Song. Usually they get along, or at least leave each other in peace. Lately, not so much.
I ran into trouble with Eldertide druids on High Isle.
The Elder Tide resent the Breton noble houses. All outsiders, really. They believe islands belong to the druids, and some of them act on that belief. But we've got something of a truce with them on Galen. Turns out sea elves are everyone's problem.
One more question. Why are the druid circles quarreling now?
Druid Laurel thinks it's got something to do with an old prophecy. The Elder Tide blame the Sea Elves, and the Fire Song refuse to explain themselves to anyone. So, your guess is as good as anyone's, mate.
Tell me more about these sea elves.
The Sea Elves? Haven't spent much time in these waters, eh?
Okay.
Huge
Who
one.
is the pirates?
Call
Okay.
themselves the Dread Sailors.
We have this
They're a
option.
vicious
I
band of
run
pirates
into
that have
the
been
red
causing
sail
trouble in the
pirates on
archipelago for
Amenos.
some time.
Are
No
these
one
the same
realized-
group?
Aye, they're part of the same fleet, though they seem to be made up of many pirate bands, each with a ship or two of their own. It takes a strong leader to hold a fleet like the Dreadsails together, and make them work toward a common purpose.
There were two options there, so I had to return. Who leads these pirates?
That would be Sea Lord Nalos. He recruits Sea Elf captains and offers them a place in the Dreadsails fleet. If I didn't know better, I'd say he was trying to create his own Sea Elf kingdom far from Piandania. Could explain our current problems.
Okay, what do you do here, Dulev?
Me? I'm a mercenary, mate. A mage's guild staff for hire. When all this trouble started to brew up in Galen, Count Mornard sent word to the guild that he needed a court mage. I was here already, so I got the job.
What does a court mage do?
I wish I knew. Before joining the guild, I spent my days hunting treasure and roaming where the winds took me, not rubbing elbows with nobility. I advise Count Mornard as best I can, help out where I'm needed, and get my hands dirty when I have to.
Treasure hunting?
I used to be a pirate, but years ago I was shipwrecked off Galen. The Stone Lord Druids saved my life. They taught me to see the world in a different way. I took up magic. Then I started hunting knowledge instead of gold.
Okay. Oh. So where do we have to go? We have to move on the road. Okay, this is the city of Vastir. What are you doing?
I had to sit down. The ground's all wobbly beneath me. Damn volcano.
Okay, you can stay down. Which way? This way. This is my first time in the area. Like High Isle. I never played this before. Everything is new to me.
The Steadfast are here to aid those harmed by the Sea Elf attacks. I have no knights to lend you, Count Bernard, Sir Stefan.
We'll have to handle the Sea Elves ourselves then. I don't know what's keeping the Druids.
You place too much trust in those ivy-robed beggars, Stefan.
Sir
Are
Stefan?
those supplies for the Society of the Steadfast? I'm sure Lord Baccaro will put them to good use. Give them to him, then come talk to me. You look like someone I could very much make use of right about now.
I like his armor. Man.
Well, if it isn't Lady Arabelle's talented assistant, I might have guessed that Galen's troubles would draw you here. What can I do for you, my friend?
Dulev asked me to deliver these supplies.
Ah, thank you. We're short-handed, and I haven't had anyone to send for these. As you can see, the fighting on Galen has caused no end of suffering. And most of the victims are simple farmers and townsfolk, not soldiers. Damn those sea elf pirates!
This is all because of the sea elves?
For the most part. There have been some incidents among the druid circles, too, but the sea elves are definitely the biggest threat. Talk to Sir Stefan Mornard. I'm sure he can find a use for someone with your obvious talents.
I'll talk to Sir Stefan.
Young Sir Stefan is over there with his father, Count Mornard. They will readily accept any assistance you're willing to offer. Now, if you'll excuse me, the Society of the Steadfast's work is never done.
What is the Society of the Steadfast doing here?
The Mornards are neighbors, so to speak. Count Leonard sent word to me about Galen's troubles with the Sea Elves. I have many responsibilities on High Isle, but still, I had to help an old friend.
What about the peace talks on High Isle?
I am trying to be in two places at the same time as best I can. It involves frequent voyages from Vastir to Gonfalon Bay. Fortunately, I can trust Lady Arabelle to look after the Alliance leaders when I must be absent.
Okay. Sir Stefan.
Well met, adventurer. If you're looking for work, I need all the help I can get. Sea elf raids are nothing new on Galen, but never have they attacked in such numbers. The whole southeast shore is under siege.
What do the sea elves want?
I'm not sure. Most sea elves are pirates. Easy plunder is what they're usually after. But the Dreadsails are more determined than any Maormer I've seen before. Whatever their goal, we must push them back.
What do you need me to do?
Hand me your map. I've received reports of Dreadsails near Windrack Fort, the village of Tuin and Suncleft Cove. I need you to investigate these sightings and chase off any sea elves you find. Let them know Galen won't go down without a fight.
Are you ready for a fight?
Not as ready as I would like, friend. We don't have enough knights to protect the whole island, but I need information even more than I need soldiers. Find out what the Dreadsails really want, if you can, and where they plan to strike next.
I'll head out at once, Sir Stefan.
All three locations I need you to investigate lie to the east. Chase away any sea elves you find at the fort and the village, and see if you can figure out what they're up to at the cove. Report back to me in Vastir when you're done.
Tell me about these locations that are under attack.
Time is pressing, but I suppose it's only prudent to find out something about what you're getting into. Which location are you curious about?
Tell me about Windrack Fort.
Well, it's an old fort, built on Windrack Point centuries ago to protect Vastir against attacks from the east. It's not in good repair, but we garrison it as strongly as we can. Yet perhaps not strongly enough. Anything else?
What can you tell me about the Druid village?
Tuin? It's an Eldertide settlement. They have little love for House Mornard, but they like sea elves even less. I expected them to put up a stout defense against the Dreadsails, but we haven't heard from them in quite some time. Any more questions?
Why is the cove important?
Until today, I would have said Suncleft Cove wasn't important at all. It's a pretty enough spot, but there are certainly better places for the Dreadsails to land raiders. I can't imagine what the Sea Elves want there. Is that all?
Which of the three sites should I go to first?
I leave that to you. With luck, you'll find allies at the fort or village. But whatever you do, go swiftly. If we fail to meet the Sea Elf threat now, it's only a matter of time before we see them at the walls of Vastir.
Who are you again?
My apologies. In all the excitement, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Sir Stefan Mornard, and this is my father, Count Leonard Mornard. Our house has the honor of governing the Isle of Galen for our liege, High King Emmerich.
So your father rules Galen?
It might be more accurate to say he governs Vastir and the lands surrounding the city. The northern half of Galen is mostly wilderness. Quite a few druids live there, but they look after their own affairs.
Okay, let's see
Time
here.
is pressing, but I suppose it's only prudent to find out something about what you're getting in. Well, it's an old fort, built on Windrack Point centuries ago. I leave that to
Okay.
you.
What
Luck,
was
you'll
all
find
about the
out. Galen may
druids?
claim to be a Breton holding, but the druids have lived here for centuries. Some of them don't like city folk, but they certainly defend the coast from pirates. Especially the Eldertide Circle. It's not like them to avoid a fight.
Eldertide Circle.
One of the 3 circles of druids in the archipelago. The Eldertide live by the coast and dislike outsiders. The Fire Song are recluses, keeping to old places of power. Then there's the Stone Lore. I studied with them when I was young.
You studied with the druids?
With the druids and with a knightly order. I suppose you could say I had a well-rounded sister's education. If you're interested, I'll tell you more about it later. Right now, I need you to check out those locations.
Yeah, this one is
My
still grey.
apologies. In all the excitement, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Sir Stefan Bernard, and this is my father.
Okay, we
Count
have
Leonard
this. I met Viscount
Our house has the
John
honor of governing
Mornard
the
on
Isle of
High
Galen
Isle.
for our liege,
How are you
High King
related?
Emmerich. John is my cousin. He holds
Okay.
title to the Mornard estates on High Isle for my father, and manages many of our mercantile concerns there. But my father, the Count, is the patriarch of House Mornard.
I don't know why they put so many lines under other lines and you really have to return. But that's okay, we just checked everything.
You understand your task. The sea elves aren't standing about here, so go find them. I look forward to reports of your success.
You're the Count, why aren't you leading the defense of Galen?
A leader who takes foolish risks doesn't last long. I serve my people best by commanding from here, not fighting in the field. If the need arises, I won't hesitate to ride with my knights. Until then, I trust Stefan to see my will done.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. And what is this? Volcanic vent. Let's just go there to reveal that location.
Another find for your pack.
These are the same like in High Isle. I can do this all by myself, so let's go.
No guts, no glory.
Missed twice.
That could be helpful.
Galen. 16 quests. Pet and interact with all the friendly animals in Galen. Oh. And adults. Do we have fishes? Where should I look? Definitely there's no Galen around here on the list. That's strange. What are these? Nothing. Why they are fighting each other?
My wounds! I'm not sure I can keep going.
What? I just pressed the button to heal, but... Okay.
You won't take them! Not on my watch!
We are not fighting them any longer.
Good quality there.
There is saltwater fishing hole. I really have to check if there is an achievement for catching rare fishes here in Galen. Oh, I don't like this.
Stow your weapons, my friend. We've won. Why did you do that?
Because there is another quest. Old Port Mornard.
Don't just repeat yourself, stupid bird. Help me.
What?
Swayers weakest! Swayers weakest! Rah!
A talking bird.
Oh, a tide of curses upon this feathered fiend and whatever dank corner of oblivion he flapped from. He owes his thanks to you, traveler. I was just about to kill him, even though he can't die.
What do you mean the bird can die?
Exactly what I said. Supposedly, he's centuries old, but the only thing in his empty head are two riddles. They concern a long-lost treasure called the Gloom Lantern. I can't make sense of it, and neither could my crew. Tava guide their souls.
Your crew?
Aye. We ran afoul of some dread sails while searching for the damned treasure. Kiko and I were the only survivors. Look, I want to find that treasure and avenge my crew, but I've no mind for riddles. Help me out and I'll make it worth your while.
I'll listen to his riddles and see what I can do.
You look the type to have solved a riddle or two. Now, to get that bird talking, you'll need to prompt him with the passphrase. It's from an old Abitian freebooter saying, no pray to hear his first riddle, no pay to hear the second.
No pray, no pay. I have some questions about this treasure.
Legends call it the Gloom Lantern, some artifact stolen by pirates from the Deep Druids. It's said to shroud any ship in a thick veil of fog, hiding them from enemies. Sounds perfect for getting bloody revenge on the dread sails, doesn't it?
You said the bird can die?
Kiko apparently belonged to some commodore whose fleet made birth in the Sisters. Legend says this commodore meddled in some druid ritual and cursed his fleet to undeath, including his stupid bird here.
Actually, I broke Commodore Malfair's hold on the souls of Ghost Haven Bay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Suppose that mean Kiko's mortal again. Well, I'll be a goblin's aunt. I'll be sure not to kick him around the way the captain used to. And I suppose we ought to listen to his riddles before I decide to pluck him and make a pillow.
You really hate this bird, don't you?
And why shouldn't I? Captain always told the crew that Kiko and I were equals on account of how brainless we both were. But I never promised to lead anyone to treasure, so you can guess which one of us got the better treatment.
These are the same people you're trying to avenge, right?
My crew? Of course. Been a pirate all my life, and they were the only people I had in the world. They were like family to me. Isn't this what you do for family? And Kiko keeps squawking out these riddles, so I can only guess he agrees.
Who are the Deeps druids you mentioned?
The Elder Tide, maybe? You know how vague legends can be. It was stolen from druids and hidden away when they fought back. Someone must have taught Kiko the riddles so they could find the Gloom Lantern again. But I guess they never got around to it.
How did your crew come across the bird?
Plundering, of course. My guess is he's been passed from ship to ship for some time on account of the curse keeping him alive. Almost makes you feel kind of bad for him. Almost.
How did you figure out he could lead you to treasure?
Well, I suppose that's my fault. When we took our last prize, I was reading through the ship's logs, as I like to do, and that's when I found Kiko's passphrase. The captain smelled treasure, and that was it. We were bound for the Sisters.
Okay. Listen to the first riddle.
I'll feed you when we find treasure. Treasure! Ah!
No pray.
Ah! No pray! Pray! This half sleeps beneath the shade, entangled roots of tunneled glade. A stream of fire cuts the trees, yet south of home for he who sees.
No pay.
Pay! Pay! The second piece is within reach, between vaster shores and wind-racked beach. Craft approached with spade in hand, eye the cauldron and turn the sand. Ah! Sand!
Sounds like a load of nonsense, right? Here, let me write them down for you. Vaster shores and wind-racked. Huh. If you know you're heading, go on ahead. I'll keep an eye on the bird and we'll meet up with you soon.
Oh. There is here and up there. Let's try here first. Where are you? I heard the bird. Maybe it's up somewhere. I just can jump there.